This episode is sponsored by ZocDoc. ZocDoc is a free app and website where you can search and compare high-quality in-network doctors and click to instantly book an appointment. I use ZocDoc, and you should too. You can stop putting off those doctor's appointments and go to ZocDoc.com/wildest to find and instantly book a top-rated doctor today. That's ZocDoc.com/wildest, WILDEST. ZocDoc.com/wildest. Go check it out, guys. Welcome to World's Wildest, everybody.
Hello.
This is a very unique episode. You're used to us teaching you about some of Earth's most extreme creatures, but today we will be telling you our own stories, our wildest, if you will.
It's crazy.
We're going to be telling you our stories, and it'll be interesting. Tell us if you like episodes like this.
Yeah.
If you hate them.
You could watch these episodes on Patreon. Maya, tell them about Patreon.
You could watch them on Patreon. We are on Patreon with ad-free episodes, bonus content. We do bookmarks that we ship out to your guys' houses over there. We answer your questions. We give advice on there. And we watch movies.
Yep. And there was a cool question that we got from Jay Bubbles that he asked over on the Patreon. If you guys want to ask questions and get them answered, you can ask them in the comments. You can ask them over on Patreon as well. And Patreon, we will get to them. Comments, we'll see. But J Bubble asks, what is your animal hyperfixation right now?
Bug.
A specific bug?
No. Okay, maybe jumping spiders.
Okay.
I don't know. I get really excited every time I see one,
Sure.
and I have to be like pulled away from watching it.
Oh.
Because I just love watching them.
Oh, nice. There's not a lot of jumping spiders right now, right? Because it's cold, but
no.
They come out here in the spring everywhere.
Yeah. I say jumping spiders. That's my answer.
Do you ever go out with the flashlight at night and look at them?
No.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, it is.
My animal hyperfixation right now is woolly mammoths. And the fact that it might not be a bad idea to bring them back from extinction.
That was very controversial.
I listened to a podcast about it, and there are some good arguments for it, that they've only been gone for 33,000 years, and the climate is currently kind of the same for them, and it's much smaller than it used to be.
Yeah.
But they could help sequester a lot of carbon, and they could also help restore a lot of native ranges, because they are missing, and they're like a key piece to some of these ranges that could help put it back together.
You know what could be a fun format for us is a debate podcast.
Ooh.
We should have a debate episode where we argue about stuff like that. I don't really have a strong opinion right now on that. I'd have to read up more about it, but I do know that it's controversial.
Like you take the pros, I take the cons, or vice versa.
And then we say at the beginning of the episode, just so you know, this is not actually our opinion. We had to argue a side.
We can do the flat earth. Oh, I'm all for that.
And then we do I call round.
Flat.
Or we could do an episode about like which animal would like, you know what? I don't want to do which animal would win in a fight. I take it back. Like a debate podcast about like which animal's better.
Yeah. Or like which defensive mechanism would be the best for super soldiers.
Cat, sorry. Audio listeners, there was a cat, you missed it. That's a crazy idea. It's like which animal would be best for this category, which animal would be best for this category, which animal would survive the longest here, which animal, whatever, and we just bring our like lineup and we have a whole team.
Let's do that. That's fun.
Yeah.
That's a little bit of a
draft.
Okay.
An animal draft, if you will. Oh my god. Super Bowl.
Super Bowl.
Anyway, we'll talk about it. No, that's a good idea. Anyway, check us out on Patreon if you would like to. If you would like one of your questions answered, very cool. We would love to answer them. And thank you so much if you're already subscribed to our Patreon. And thank you so much for the fact that you've already liked and subscribed on this YouTube video.
Thank you.
Thank you. And if you haven't done that, that wasn't for you. Do it now.
Thank you now.
Thank you. Okay. Our wildest.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to hear you've had some crazy stuff.
We've both had some crazy stuff. I think that we need to hold on. Okay. Pause. We need to like big time disclaimer.
Yeah.
The stories that we're sharing today are from previous facilities that we've worked at, not at Alveus Sanctuary.
Correct.
And there are facilities where we were instructed to do things by people that were in charge of us, and we didn't know any better.
Right. Well,
we don't condone a lot of the things that we're going to talk about today, at least me.
Towards the end, I've got some nice ones here and there. There's a few that are like a little sketchy. But I think I've told most of my sketchiest ones, but I'm bringing out some deep ones. I've got videos of me doing sketchy things.
Oh boy.
From Alaska.
I have pictures of me doing sketchy things, but I'm not including them because they're too much. And those pictures of me cannot exist on the internet.
I will say that the current management of these facilities is a lot different now.
True.
And they have a lot different protocols, and it's no longer the good old boys doing it, saying rub some dirt in it and deal with it. So
here's the thing, guys. I don't know if you've noticed, people in exotics are weird.
Yep.
Like,
I'm weird.
You get a lot of weird archetypes, and you get a lot of weird people, and you get a lot of big egos, and you get a lot of toxicity, unfortunately. They
start out with good intentions.
Mm-hmm.
And then it morphs into something else, especially when like a lot of money gets involved, is where I've seen things kind of change there.
Yeah. So these are some of our crazy stories, I think, mostly from our like early days in this field. Anyone in this field has some crazy facilities that they've worked at and some crazy stories about the way that things have been done. So I will start us off. My first zoo internship.
Okay. How old were you?
19.
Okay.
My first zoo internship at 19. I go in there. I'm so excited. Everything's awesome. One of my first tasks was, I learned about husbandry and like how to clean enclosures and like waters and whatever. And
how long after you started did this incident occur?
That's a great question.
I want to know how well trained up you were.
3 weeks? I think ish. I think 3 weeks.
Okay.
Okay, so one of the things that I was instructed to do when I started this internship was train a feeder rat.
Oh. Was it gonna be fed?
I kept it as a pet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I thought it
was
gonna
fine.
get killed. Okay.
No, so they wanted to teach us about training, and they wanted to teach us about target training and clicker training with a rat, which is actually a sick idea.
Yeah.
Like, I, as an intern, got to go in there, pick out a feeder rat, save it from its doom of being eaten by a snake, and learn how to clicker train and target train.
That's cool. Okay.
With this rat.
Good start. Okay.
Good start.
Yeah.
Took the rat home.
So you did it at home, not there?
Mm-hmm. Both.
Nice. Did you bring it back and forth?
Mm-hmm.
That's so much fun.
Yeah, she came with me. It was sick.
What was her name?
Sierra.
Nice.
Yeah, she was awesome. So she came back and forth with me. I had two, but I was like training Sierra. I was like focusing on one. And it went really well. Like, clicker training with rats is so fun. It's so fun. They're so smart. It's like a great way to learn. It's super low liability because it's a rat. Like,
instant gratification.
Very safe. Their lifespan is unfortunately very short. So it's not like you're giving an intern like a 20-year commitment to an animal. It's like a, it's a two-year commitment, 3-year commitment maybe. So I clicker trained this rat. Went super well. I like passed my like clicker training, target training stuff with the rat. I like showed what I had done. I taught her how to spin. I taught her how to hop up on my hand.
Nice.
I taught her recall. Went really well. And then they were gonna assign me a zoo animal for target training.
Oh, okay. Like a parrot.
Guess what it was? Parrot?
I'm thinking parrot. I'm thinking maybe like the big rat that swim.
Capybara?
Capybara.
Connor, guess what it was based on my tone of voice.
A gator.
It's a black bear.
A black bear. That's easy. Yeah, easy step up. That's the proper logic there. Solid. A black bear. Why?
I don't know. I don't know. They were just like, no one's had time to train this bear.
3 weeks in, you get the like apex predator, one of the more dangerous ones. Yeah.
It wasn't like, okay, it wasn't like a, hey, you need to train this bear to do this. Like there's a timeline for this task.
Right.
They were just like, you can train the bear then.
Oh, okay.
Like here's your next training project.
Through a wire barrier.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was not free contact with the black bear.
Okay,
she
good.
would have killed me.
Okay.
100% she would have killed me.
Right.
So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna need a bigger target.
Right.
It's time. So I tried to train the black bear for a bit. I worked through a fence with this black bear. I had freaking, I don't want to say what the treats were. It wasn't bear food. Okay. I had like
if it
sweets.
makes you feel any better, the bears in Alaska, to deworm them, we give them donuts.
Yeah, they love that stuff.
Yeah.
They love junk food.
Yeah.
Would I condone that now? No. Like I'm not gonna be using training bits as for like medicine,
Oh,
sure.
yeah, medicine.
But like I should have been using something else. I didn't know. This is what I was told, okay? I was told to use these things. So I have like these sweets that I'm trying to target train her. She's like pissed. She does not like it. She doesn't like me.
What were you trying to target train?
I was trying to get her to show her paw.
Her paw?
Yeah,
Okay.
like put her paw on the wire so we could see the bottom of her foot.
And like
And open her mouth so we could see the inside of her mouth.
Okay.
Me, knowing nothing about training beyond training my childhood dog and my horse.
And a rat.
And a rat. Just like didn't know how to approach training a black bear. And I knew I wanted to see the bottom of her foot.
Yeah.
And I knew that this is so embarrassing.
It's fine.
And I knew that I wanted to see the inside of her mouth.
Yeah.
She's mad like while I'm training her. She doesn't like it.
Oh.
Right? Like I walk up to the thing, she's swatting at the wire. Like she's pissed that I'm there.
Jeez. Okay.
But
you get to see the paw.
She's swatting at the wire. That's bottom of her foot, baby. Boom, bam.
Reward
Success.
for being mean.
Straight up.
Yeah.
I would just reward her for swatting at the wire because I was like, there's the bottom of your foot. Good job.
No.
And she would get bits. And then I want to see the inside of her mouth. So she starts like biting at the wire so I could look inside of her mouth. And then I'd be like, nice.
That's
good job.
Like how bad
Here you
biting
go.
at the wire?
Not bad. She's not like,
right.
You know, she's just like.
I mean, other than so in training, you want to like capture new behaviors.
It was capturing behaviors.
That one's not as bad. Like yawning, I guess is like the only way you could get them to really do that.
Yeah, she was not yawning.
Or like, I guess you could probably get like put peanut butter on a wire and get them to lick it. Maybe you see it. I don't know. But what'd your bosses say? Good job.
I don't think they ever reviewed the behaviors.
Oh, did they ever use them?
No.
Oh.
I think that I just
Here's some experience.
made her display some aggressive behaviors when people approached her enclosure.
Oh.
I think she started associating like people approaching with like it's time to be aggressive and I'll get rewarded. And I mean, okay, I feel really bad about it. Let me say that much. All right. I didn't know. It was the only way I knew how. I wasn't being overseen. I just like that was one of my first training experiences. Absolutely horrific. And I apologize to that bear. However, she is at a sanctuary now, different from that facility, and is in like a huge sick enclosure.
Nice.
So she's fine. She turned out fine. Everything turned out fine. I survived also, which is huge.
That's good.
After the bear, I was then assigned a coyote who I was told to work free contact with. So I'd go in with the coyote and was like training or whatever. And then one day she just started growling at me, and I still don't know why. But she just started growling at me, and then someone had to come in and stand in between me and Coyote, and then I could never go in there again.
Wow. That's weird.
But if someone wasn't there, which a lot of times I went in there without someone there. A lot of times.
And you're small.
Yeah. Coyote could take me, for sure. I also couldn't hurt her, I don't think.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Those are my first training experiences. But the rat went swimmingly.
Very nice.
Yeah.
I personally, I don't have the patience for training.
Me neither.
So, it was never my favorite thing to do.
Yeah, same.
Plus, I was always a vet tech. So, like, they were like, just do all the mean things to the animals.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're like, well, you're not going to be able to ever to train. So I was like, cool, okay. Worked out. So
great. It's the dream.
Yeah, because they hated me.
This episode is sponsored by ZocDoc. Guys, when was the last time you're supposed to go to the doctor, but you didn't go for a number of reasons? I'm too busy. I don't know what doctor to go to. Well, we've all been there. Finding a doctor's appointment can be daunting, but thanks to ZocDoc, there's no reason to delay. They make it super easy to find and book a doctor who's right for you. ZocDoc is a free app and website where you can search and compare high-quality in-network doctors and click to instantly book an appointment. We are talking booking in-network appointments with more than 100,000 doctors across every specialty: mental health, dental health, primary care, urgent care, and much more. Once you find the right doctor, you can see their actual appointment openings, choose a time slot, and click to instantly book a visit. I use ZocDoc, and you should too. You can stop putting off those doctor's appointments and go to ZocDoc.com/wildest to find and instantly book a top-rated doctor today. That's ZocDoc.com/wildest, WILDEST, ZocDoc.com/wildest. Go check it out, guys. Stop putting off your doctor's appointments.
All right. Well, mine's a little bit nicer. There is a little bit of sketchiness in here, but let's start with the nice things first. So, I worked in Alaska at this conservation facility, and they would get orphaned moose babies, little mises, and you would have to bottle raise them because they didn't have parents, and they weren't meant to go back out in the wild. They weren't meant to be ambassadors for their species there to teach people not to mess with moose, particularly a lot of tourists. This is where they got their moose and bear training, is when they came to this center. So for us interns at the time, and Kayla was an intern with me there too, so you'll see her in some of these videos, that we had to feed them it's like 6 to 8 times a day. We'd have to wake up in the middle of the night and feed them.
The bottle babies?
Bottle babies.
Yeah.
Bottle babies. So here is is this a video first? Video first of me bottle feeding at 19 years old. Ew! It's baby Connor. Okay.
Audio listeners, it's a picture. It's Connor's. Oh, they're cute.
So Richter and Tectonic. Yeah, Richter and Tectonic were their names.
They're so cute.
And I never thought I would ever be bottle feeding baby moose.
They're shorter than I expected.
Very short. They're only like a few weeks old here. They're very, very sweet. They're very healthy, and they loved being around people, obviously, because you had the bottles. And so the moose you'll see later were also bottle babies at one point. So it's like you can't really like rehab them, put them back out in the wild. Plus, there's plenty of moose out there in Alaska. But it was a really unique opportunity, and so I was like, someone gifted me a GoPro, so I was like, okay, let's get a little GoPro video, and like they would like to suck on your fingers too. But it was a really, really good time. So we have some more pictures of the baby moose. There's one of them with a bunch of people looking at them. And then they still use this picture today at the facility.
That's so fun. To
publicize their interns.
The only reason I didn't react accordingly is because I've seen this photo before. If I had never seen this photo, I'd freak out.
Baby Connor.
Baby Connor, no beard.
No beard. Good time.
Crazy.
So that's the good side of it. Here's the sketchy side. So, Space, could you please bring up the first picture in that folder? We had to go into the moose enclosure a few times to do some work. And this is a picture of from the GoPro on my head of me with the moose inside the enclosure, no wire barrier. And we did have one other person, but this moose in particular, Nelson, was kind of a butt. He was about a little over 1,000 pounds, so 453 kilograms, over 6 feet tall or 2 meters, and can sprint 35 miles per hour or 56 kilometers per hour. So if he wanted to, he could take me. Producer, could you go through the pictures until we see the one with my defensive mechanism to combat against a moose that might charge at me? There it is, right there.
A shovel.
A shovel. And we're in lots of mud and water. I'm not running away fast. The entrance is like a good 2-minute walk away. You know, maybe 60-second run in that mud. And when they would come up to us, which they would, you had to use that shovel. The only way to use that shovel which I've only seen once. I never had to do this, and I don't condone this. It's not the way to do it. Whack.
Yeah.
I hated it, but there was no other way to get them from their heads are really hard, so you're not giving them a concussion or anything like that. Is to keep them away. A freaking shovel. This thing that kills people so easily. They're like, yeah, that's okay. Have a shovel. And so there's some more pictures of there, like with another guy we had, Jeremy. He also had a shovel, but we had two moose in there for 2 people. Probably should have had more. Probably should have different protective. I don't know what else you would protect yourself with. I'll be honest.
Cattle prong?
Yeah, you could. I guess it'd be weird if the public saw that too.
Yeah. Well,
the shovel.
I don't know if I would rather see a moose get thonked in the head with a shovel or had a cattle prong used on it.
It was rare. Nels, we could read their behavior. This was like maybe day 3 that I was there. They're like, just go in.
That's crazy.
Different management now. Much better management. Nelson would get a little bit angry. Teddy was the sweetest one. I think this one's Teddy. I'm getting like right up to him, getting GoPro shots of him. He was just the sweetest boy. He'd come up and like let you get scritches and stuff like that. You wouldn't do that without a wire barrier in front of you because you just never know because they're still wild. But Nelson was kind of a butt. So the only other funny moose story we had is they loved bananas.
Weird.
Would lose
like
their
with
mind.
the peel?
Yeah, you just give the banana. Take the sticker off, give the banana. So they would like Costco and Walmart donate produce and stuff like that that's like expired. And if we wanted to recall the moose, to do anything, move them between shift pins, anything whatsoever, they could be freaking way out there.
You should wave
like
a banana.
half a mile. You wave a banana up in the air
funny.
and that you just call their name. You see those ears go down and they just start sprinting 35 miles per hour.
That's so nice.
It was amazing.
To have a reinforcer like that for an animal that size is massive.
It was amazing. And we got a big shipment of bananas one time. All the interns fed them way too much banana that they had the runny poops for a long time. We got in trouble by the veterinarians and everything else like that for feeding them too much. So then it had to be used for like special use cases. Because like you can give too much potassium.
Wow, moose.
So that was interesting. I was also on Dr. Oakley Yukon Vet on the National Geographics for moose and
I didn't know
bison.
That.
So
I've watched that guy.
Girl.
Wait, who's the one I'm getting it mixed? Dr. Pole.
Dr. Pole. I've seen Dr. Pole.
I don't know Dr. Oakley.
But that was cool. It was a good time intern. So yeah, that's my wildest for that kind of stuff. Something
moose.
I've never really
That's cool.
told.
What else have you bottled? Bottle baby, bottle fed.
Muskox. That's my next one, actually.
Muskox?
Yeah.
We got to list them all off. You've bottled so many things in your life.
Deer.
Cows.
Kittens, dogs, of course.
Kittens, dogs.
Parrots in a weird, like baby parrots. Wasn't really a bottle though.
Yeah.
Syringe.
I've
never
done
did raccoons.
I've done cows. I've done pigs. I've done rabbits. I've done
squirrels.
raccoons. I've done opossums. I've done squirrels. I've done freaking birds. I've done kittens.
Oh, I did a black bear once.
That's crazy.
Random. It was a North Georgia like black bear sanctuary with horseback riding. And they're like, hey, we need help socializing this cub. I was like 4th grade, tiny cub. And they just were like, anybody want to help socialize it? And they just locked us in a pen with this cub. Was the sweetest cub. Like me and another friend for hours. They would check on us every so often.
That's so sick. I mean, that's stupid, but like sick for you
as a
child.
I was more interested in the horses, which is crazy. I was a horse kid in my younger life.
Interesting.
I wish I would have spent more time with the cub, but I would never. That's kind of irresponsible to do today. Don't do that.
Oh, kind of. So you shouldn't do that.
And back then.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I would like to talk about more dangerous things that I was involved in that I shouldn't have been. One, we had a between 6 and 7 foot long American alligator.
Nice. Well over a mile.
Yes, which I'm 5 feet tall. And we used him for programs.
Okay.
Couple things. One, the first program I ever went out on with him, we literally brought a fold-out table, plastic fold-out table, and we set it down at this event. And we put him on top of it. No tablecloth, no turf, no walls.
Was he cold? Was he hot?
Cold. He must have been.
Jeez.
Just raw on the table. Was he in a kennel? No, dude. Connor, this is actually crazy. On the table. Nothing on the table. Alligator sat on the table. Mouth not taped. Just on the table. No barriers. And then people would come up and we'd say that they could touch his back.
His back, not his tail. His back.
His back. So they would touch his back.
Crazy. They're so fast. They could.
I'm saying the first time I went on a show with this gator.
How old were you? 19?
19.
Well, how many weeks in were you? 2?
Yeah. Realistically, probably, yeah.
Hey,
I don't think I was there a month yet.
And when you come in there and that happens that early on, and that's all you know, it's got to be this is normal.
I said no, it was not normal. I was like,
you were self-aware to be this is not normal.
Well, no, okay, I didn't know that it was not normal, but I thought it was dangerous. I was like, okay, is this chill? And they were like, no, he's really good. And I was like, oh, okay. So I guess he's good. I guess he's a good alligator, and he's not gonna bite anyone. And I was like, has there ever been a problem? And they're like, no. And I was like, okay, then there's not gonna be a problem.
Yeah.
So I'm manning this table. There were times where I was at the table by myself.
A 5 foot, probably less than 100 pounds at that point, right?
Yes, and there are people walking around the table.
In the front?
Around the table, the whole freaking table. I'm actually losing my mind recounting this story. They would walk. Okay, no, I was behind the table. And they would walk around the other 3 sides.
Okay, but still.
And then they would touch him.
But
and
going around the front is crazy.
My whole job in manning this table was, it was my job actually was explaining to everyone that he was real. Because everyone would stop and ask me, they're like, this isn't a real alligator. There's no, and I was just like, yes, it is.
I feel like you have to keep him cold for them to chill out.
He was cold. That. And then there were people that my boss would come over and then people would be like, that's not a real alligator. Because of course it does. You don't think it's a freaking real alligator because he's sitting on a plastic table without his mouth taped and everyone's touching him.
Yeah.
And so my boss would come over occasionally and close his eyes so they could see his nictitating membrane. And then everyone would freak out.
Alligator is that chill? Was it that well fed too?
I guess. I don't know. I didn't feed the alligator. I just stood there while everyone touched the alligator.
That's insane. I'm glad you have all your fingers.
Yeah. Never had a problem. He never even moved. He didn't move hours. He just wouldn't move. He was fine.
How many programs a month would he do?
I don't know.
Probably a good bit to get desensitized to that level, which probably, he's probably not that stressed out then.
It's so hard to tell with an animal like that. The only time I really saw him move was when they would have me pick him up.
You?
Pick him up.
How heavy was he?
You know what? I literally need to look this up because I don't know, but he was longer than me. So imagine.
With
American alligator.
Mouth taped.
Weight. With no mouth tape. Oh, males are 500 pounds and females are 200 pounds.
So it was probably 300? No way you were lifting that
much. Would not lift him off the table. They would hand him to me, though.
And you would hold him.
Dude, you've seen pictures of me holding this gator.
I don't
know
understand.
What I'm talking about. I'm not putting the picture on screen.
Your muscle mass?
No, I was literally just leaned back. He was all of his weight was into me. I don't know if I could have
he could have killed you.
Easy. Oh my God, he could have killed me so easily. Oh my God, yeah. Maybe, a couple 100 pounds of alligator.
Oh my God.
And longer than me. And they would hand him to me and I would hold him underneath his little arms and underneath his tail. I would hold this alligator. Truly, what would I have done if he thrashed? Nothing.
Instant dead. Break your neck.
Death.
Or ass around your head, you're gone. In front of children.
Yes, yeah, it would have been insane. I losing limbs 100%. It's just crazy that I held him ever. It was crazy that I was regularly holding 3-foot alligators, no problem. I would pick them up and take them places.
Remember when you wanted an alligator for Alveus?
I did not.
Oh.
That
you were
is misinformation.
You were pushing it. Should we get one?
I did not push it.
A little bit at the very beginning.
No, I didn't.
I remember that.
We
considered it.
We have been offered gators, and I have turned down gators because of the liability. Oh. And because if there was a behavioral issue that arose, I don't know how to address it, and we don't have staff that knows how to address it. with an alligator specifically. So it's not responsible.
Cool.
To have one on site.
I remember doing the logistics of like how to keep it clean and build the enclosure, and I was like, I don't want to mess with it. Also, I didn't know as much back then, so thank you.
Sure. Yeah, so that's insane. And then also, like, side note, they had me handle pythons that, like, definitely safer than an alligator.
Yeah.
But they had me handle Burmese pythons and anacondas, and I'm, again, 5 feet tall. I'm 100 pounds. At the time, 95 pounds. And Burmese pythons, I would do this Burmese python for programs because it was, like, funny to everyone else.
Right.
Because, like,
the size difference.
Like my boss, who's like this big dude, would bring out like an opossum, and then they'd have me come out, and there's a Burmese python, and he had to wrap 3 times around my waist. So like he would wrap 3 times around my waist. He's 10 feet long. Jeez. Like they can be the width of a telephone pole. Like he's just a massive snake. I don't know what his width was. Maybe like a soccer ball. Jesus. Around. And
heavy too.
So heavy. Like at 100 pounds.
Right.
Like at least 90 pounds. Right. He was at least 90 pounds. But he would wrap around my waist, and then I'd have to like hold him like this, like there were tires around me.
Right.
And then his head was that's just fair game, dude. Right. Like I don't have the hands. I'm trying to hold the snake up.
Right.
So his head was just wherever it wanted to be. I was walking around crowds, like with his head just all over the place, knowing nothing about snake behavior. Like, didn't have a problem.
Snake behavior is kind of hard.
Yeah. But like, what if he did something? I don't know.
Glad he didn't.
Wouldn't have been able to handle it.
After hanging around Noodle, I don't feel as like it's as crazy.
Yeah.
If you have a really well socialized, well fed, well taken care of snake. So.
Yeah, he was good. I mean, I never had any problems with him.
I would be more concerned that you would drop him, or like you would trip and stumble, and like you both would get hurt.
Yeah.
That's not safe.
Yeah.
Nice.
They also had me take anacondas out of ponds. Longer. Anacondas are longer.
Yeah.
And I would literally just like be barefoot in a pond trying to wrestle an anaconda out of the pond to like move them back into different enclosures. Like that. It was, I mean, the worst. It wasn't like a deep. I mean, I could totally drown actually. If she were to have grabbed me and like pulled me under, like I drown. I guess it's GG's. But
I like the pond was probably a little bit murky too, right?
Yeah. It was more just like the weight of it all, and like where is her head?
Yeah.
And like how do I get enough of her to actually pick her? It was like an impossible task.
Like I
don't know how I did it.
Watching like Everglades videos where like waiting in the
water. It
wasn't
that murky. It was like I could
but still
see
like
her.
I don't know. If you add water, it just makes it a little bit scarier.
Yeah.
Dang.
I also would go barefoot in the beaver pond all the time to clean it because I had to clean the drains of the beaver pond. So I was barefoot in there all day. I cannot believe I did not get Giardia that summer.
Oh.
I was just all up in there all the time.
I guess I don't know. I guess you'd do boots, yeah. Otherwise, I'd probably go in there with Chacos. Not Chacos.
Chacos would have been good. I didn't have them. And boots are dumb because it's just gonna get up in your boots anyway.
Yeah.
And
waders?
It's like, I mean, it was up to my waist.
Oh, you have to do waders then. Yeah.
Yeah.
Boots wouldn't do it.
So it's just barefoot.
Crocs were they around?
Crocs would be good. I didn't have any.
Yeah.
Well, it is what it is. Yeah, I got it done.
Nice.
Yeah.
Let's not do that at Alveus.
No.
I've got another cute one, and the one that's kind of unique with a muskox. So if you don't know what a muskox is, I think we can bring up a picture of one of the ones we have here. Might be like the second picture. There we go. This is a baby muskox. This is Nami. She's very cute. Muskox are up in northern Canada, Alaska. They are a herd animal. They eat the grass, and they're known for having the second, or if not the most, like the softest fur. That's called Kiviot. It's very expensive, and it's crazy soft. So that's what they're well known for. And they also are really good guard animals. So if like wolves are trying to like attack their babies, they put the babies in the center and they all line up and like build this like Spartan 300 shield wall around their baby. So it's really cool. So they had a herd of muskox. I can't remember why. I think it was for like breeding and releasing them. But these parents specifically were so bad that you had to pull the babies. Also, they get stomped on, killed, and sometimes neglected. So we would pull the babies and then have to bottle feed them, which they were also 6 to 8 times a day. In the middle of the night, you'd have to go feed them. So here's a very cute video of me feeding Sue and Nami.
Dude, baby muskox are in top 10 cutest baby animals.
They really are. So they would like run around, follow you around the enclosure, but they're really sensitive creatures.
Like nervous?
Like very delicate.
They're so short.
They are very short. So the ones a little bit slower on the left was Nami. That's important for the later story. But Sue was good. They're very, very soft, very cute, but you have to like parasitic infections are very common for them, and they just take them out pretty hard. So especially when they're with their parents like for the first few days to get the antibodies from them, but they don't get all of it, so they're like inhuman care.
What is going on? Oh my gosh.
She's
rabid.
She is crazy. Sue,
give her the bottle.
I don't know why I didn't.
You're probably waiting for her to like catch up. Oh, maybe she's done.
No, I have to give them breaks because they were sucking up too much air. So she's going between my legs and trying to grab the bottle. Crazy, incredibly cute. But Nami was just always a little bit smaller, a little bit weaker. That's Nami right there. And the vet care wasn't the best at the time until Dr. Oakley came in and really just like became their vet, even off camera. She's amazing.
That's nice.
She's just hugely nice. So I was kind of like their vet, and I would work with the vets. Oh, I'm running with them. They will follow me.
Cute.
I was kind of like their vet, which is kind of irresponsible for a 19-year-old vet tech that's only been doing it for three years at this time. So I was working with the vets because I'm not dumb, trying to get them to do stuff. But this one, Nami, see how much smaller she is. She was crashing one night, and like the vets weren't available. The management kind of was like, we got a bunch of other ones. And I was like, no, like, come on, that's Nami. She's so sweet.
Yeah, that's so sad.
So what I ended up doing for a few nights was I rolled the next video space. I ended up having to sleep in their barn overnight. This baby Connor, Kayla's in there with me with mosquitoes everywhere, just destroying me. But I would sleep with her, take her vitals, and constantly feed her and give her electrolytes and sub-Q fluids, other stuff like that. So I don't know how many people have slept with a baby muskox before.
Not me.
It was actually pretty sweet because she just stayed there all night because she was feeling really sick. And after that point, there's Kayla killing mosquitoes. She's now my wife. That's where I met her. Yeah, now what was I going to say? Anyway, she survived. She did well. And I ended up just pretty much doing a lot of vet care work there after that point because they're like, all right, well, you proved yourself. Here you go.
Yeah.
So that was a really cool, I think it's like one of my like wildest, nicest stories. And the only, well, you got another one? If not, I do. I've got.
Yeah, but do you have one?
I don't know if I want to share it right now. Well, I can. I don't know. What do you have?
Are you sure? Why? Because you're scared it's too much?
So there was this, I'll let you judge. Okay.
Okay.
There's a very large enclosure with lots of bald eagles in it, and it's very, very high and 30 feet tall. And you have to catch them up once a year. The enclosure's great. They have lots of places to fly around with that. But if you have to catch them up and it's 30 feet up there, how do you think you get them down for physicals?
Tell me you climb the walls.
No, it's just like cargo net because they would hang upside down and like on the cargo net when you go up there 30 feet, sometimes like 40 feet at one point. Get really good at Nerf ball throwing.
I was going to say, yeah, you got to hit them with something.
Yep. Nerf ball. I don't know any other options. We had like pool noodle extension, like fiberglass things. But there's like some spots you couldn't get to, and there's like just no other option. I don't know what you do. And we've asked.
Here's the thing. You shouldn't feel bad about that because it's not like you built the enclosure or the system for it.
I would never build an enclosure like that.
Right. I had to throw a lemur off me with a pitchfork once. And it's just because of the way that the enclosure was built. Like, it was just the way that the enclosure was built and the tools that I had at the time. Would I ever do that now? Do I condone that? Absolutely not.
Right. You gotta tell me that one, because like that's the main piece for mine.
There's not much to say for it. I was
like
in the enclosure. I was cleaning. He got mad. he jumped at me like a flying squirrel. He screamed at me. He pulled my hair. He's on my head trying to bite me, and I had a pitchfork in my hand. And I threw him off of me.
He was fine, right?
Yeah, he's fine.
Yeah,
he's fine. I mean, he's a lemur. They're really good at falling.
Right.
Anyway,
here's a sketchy part of like the enclosure. So here's a picture of me. This is after I purchased my own safety gear, because I wasn't allowed to purchase any safety gear. They told me to just get up the pole like with the little spokes on the side of it.
Yeah.
Only one side of it, because the rest was wire on the one side, and it was 40 feet up. And I was working on a camera, needed both my hands, and they're like, "No, we're not going to buy you safety gear." So the first year I did this, I used a leash, like a bald eagle leash for like holding him. I put it around my waistband through my belt loops,
so thin,
and clipped myself to the cargo net, because they said you don't need it. Get up there and get the work done. Then the next year that we were doing, it's like, "Hey, could I please get some safety gear?" They're like, "No, we can't afford it, but get up there anyway and fix these cams." And so I went onto Amazon, purchased $50 worth of safety gear, which is probably not that great. But I was fine. I never fell. It just took me forever because I'd put in a million safeties. And here's a picture of what it was like up there, like how high I was. And the lesson, the story of this is like, don't let your supervisors get you to do dumb things.
Yeah.
Or like, it's not worth getting hurt.
You guys, this episode, if nothing else, has probably taught you guys a lot about what you should not do.
So like, I'm way up there.
Yeah.
This is after the safety gear, so like I was okay with it. And this is like my own backpack. Like everything was my own because they just wouldn't buy anything for it. And I'm not going to say the organization or the location, but if you know, based on this picture, you know. But where this is at, this location, the landowner had nothing to do with it. It was an organization.
Wow.
So yeah, that administration is no longer there, and the current administration will buy safety gear. To clarify, I might have died that day if that leash gave out.
Man, there's so many days we could have died.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy to think about? Guys, here's today's episode was your lesson on what not to do, about how dangerous wild animals can be.
Or
and
cute.
And why it's our responsibility to handle them responsibly, because it's dangerous both for us and for them. Just like super unfair to them. I will say one of the reasons that I'm so proud of at least the way that we operate at Alveus is because we've all come from places and have experiences where we've learned about the ways that we don't want to do things.
Right.
And we've learned about ways that we do want to do things. And that's just part of life.
Yeah.
So.
And these facilities, like at least for mine, like are getting better. And people are learning. And I think as long as facilities keep collaborating with each other, learning how to make it better and better, as long as we don't repeat these mistakes, and as long as nobody dies or loses a finger or an arm, it's okay.
Yeah.
Just don't do it again.
Yeah. Well, there's some of our wildest stories. Again, we don't condone any of these actions, and we don't do them now. Just stories of the past. Thank you guys for listening. Let us know if you like this episode. We will see you on the next one.
See you on Patreon. We're going to go watch a movie. Bye.
Bye.